The Dual Greatsword setup is one of the easiest ways to play Elden Ring. I have seen this strategy employed through friends' playthroughs, random co-op sessions, and many a video on YouTube, but haven't tried it for myself yet. So instead of only spamming jump attacks and using a standard strength build, I wanted to mix it up a little bit and craft a somewhat unique intelligence-based dual greatsword build. Now for our first order of business, we must choose two greatswords. We could always infuse something, but there are two readily available intelligence scaling greatswords that are perfect for the task. Those two would be Death's Poker and Helfen's Steeple. These weapons have similar scaling, with strength, dexterity, and intelligence, and they both have the Ghost Flame Frostbite build-up theme. Another reason to choose those two is because they both have different movesets. We have the strange heavy attacks on Death's Poker, and the standard greatsword moveset on the Steeple. So if you're more comfortable with that moveset for a fight or two, you can two-hand it, like what I did with Gideon. The Ashes of War, while they both have to do with Ghost Flame, are very different as well. It is a buff on the Steeple, and one of the most overpowered attacks on the Poker. For this build, I only used the movesets and the Ashes of War. No sorceries or incantations this time. For our playstyle, before the fight starts, you want to drink your flask, in which I had the Magic Shroud and Crack tier. This gives us a 20% boost to all magic damage, perfect for not only hitting things with our greatswords, but the Poker's Ash of War as well. And the Opaline Hard tier, for 15% more damage negation across the board. After the flask, two-hand the Steeple, and use the Ruinous Ghost Flame Ash of War. This gives us more damage and frostbite on one of our weapons. We can switch it to our offhand and forget about it. Now to start the fight, we can either start with jumping attacks, or my favorite, a cast of the light follow-up to Ghost Flame Ignition. Boss opening moves are relatively predictable, so you'll likely have a spare moment or two to use the Ash of War and lay down a trail of recurring magic damage and frostbite buildup. You can also cast more than one Ghost Flame Ignition at a time, and it's not only useful at the start of the fight. If you have big enemies like Fire Giant or Elden Beast, cast this multiple times and you'll see the damage tick away like crazy. The damage is great even if you don't get a Frostbite proc. The Heavy Ash of War follow-up I didn't use as much, but it is fun for NPC fights, and the most stylish way for this build to finish boss fights. Also, all of these Ashes of War will be buffed, as I had on the Shard of Alexander for the playthrough. Now for the jump attacks. These are easily spammable with a quick X button press and an L1, so we want to make sure these are buffed as well. We can get the Claw Talisman from Stormveil Castle and the Gravebird Blackquill Armor from the DLC. These both buff our jumping attacks, making them ever more effective. Speaking of armor, I mixed in some Solitude armor on the build to increase the poise up to the high 50s and add even more defense. This with the Dragon Crest Great Shield and Opaline Hard tier adequately prepare the build for any New Game Plus cycle. All of this footage is on max New Game Plus, and I am still able to tank damage. And with all these jumping attacks and Ash of War casts, I had on the Two-Headed Turtle Talisman for better stamina regeneration. My question for you all this week is regarding using more than one big weapon at once. What was your favorite large dual-wielded weapon build? Considering I've never really done one before, I'd have to say it's this one. Trust me, I put quite a bit of thought into this to make it a non-standard strength build and have some variety incorporated in there rather than using jump attacks and nothing else. So whether it's an Elden Ring or Dark Souls 2, I'm certain there's someone out there with a weird Dark Souls 2 build in this vein, or even Night Rain. Let me know your thoughts down below. As always, this video is sponsored by my dark fantasy novel, Follow the Gleam, out now, link down below. And for more Souls-like and build videos just like this, every single Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, be sure to like and subscribe to TheJerseySide. Our stats for the build were 60 Vigor, 20 Mind, and 35 Endurance. In Strength, Dex, and Int, our stats were spread much more evenly than my usual builds, being 32, 36, and 50 respectively. We deal plenty of magic damage, especially with that Ghost Flame Ignition, so I wanted to make sure intelligence was the focus here. And that is my take on a Dual Greatsword build. I am satisfied with myself for doing an intelligence build, rather than use something simple like 2 claymores, as much as I love that weapon.